love SakuraCon. They're the best.
I'm Megan. I've been a voice actor for about like 10 years. This year will be 11 years. I'm in things like Spy Family as Miss Anya Forger. I'm in My Hero Academia as La Brava, Sasha Browse in Attack on Titan, and many other things that I love. So you could probably Google my name faster than I can remember most of them, which is way more efficient. So I highly recommend doing that if you just want to see what else I've done. But yeah, we're just here to chill and talk and hang out, and I'm here to answer your questions about whatever, whether it's about a specific show or if you are curious about how we made something. I'm also, by the way, I forgot to mention this, not only do I voice act, but I've been a director, I've directed things, which also, that's why meeting the Love Live Girls was so special, because one of the shows I directed was Love Live Nijigasaki High School Anime Club. Or Idol Club, not Anime Club. That'd be a different show. So yeah, it was really fun meeting them because I'm so familiar with them in that show and I love them. But yeah, so I direct, I do music directing, assistant directing, and I voice act, so I kind of do a little bit of everything. So yeah, I'm here to answer the questions that are on your mind. Otherwise, we're gonna sit here in silence, and then the press guy won't have a good video. He's just gonna sit here and have a silent video. So, you know, so yeah. And I promise you, it only takes one very brave person to walk to the microphone, and then I promise you 5 other people are gonna follow you. Don't make a liar out of me. I know you have questions, that's why you're here. You didn't come to watch me tap dance. And if you don't have a question, think of one. It can be, what's your favorite food? What was your favorite show? What was, I don't know, give them a great example. You're here.
Hello, this is Mike Outlaw from the press.
Hello.
So I got a question. So I heard there's a new movie coming out, Spy Family. Is it called Code White?
It sure is. This is a great question, everyone. It's called Code White. You don't have to have watched any Spy Family at all to go see it. It is coming out April 19th. We are so excited. We're gonna be, it's about to happen, so we're about to do a bunch of fun stuff for the movie. So we're really excited. And you don't have to have seen any of Spy Family to go watch this movie. So you can bring someone with you that has never watched the show, and they'll understand it. They explain it all. It's like a 3-hour movie. It's like the Avengers, but not the Avengers. So yeah, and it came out in December in Japan, so it's coming out in April. I think we recorded it throughout February, March, so it's exciting. I'm super excited because I think the movie sounds great. They've been putting a lot of press into it. We did trailers. Somebody on Twitter told me that they went to see the new Ghostbusters movie, and they were like, yeah, and then the Spy Family trailer was there. And I was like, that's kind of awesome. So I can't imagine the people who are like, why is there an anime trailer in front of Ghostbusters? But hey, super fun. So yeah, I'm excited.
And I got an Anya wallet.
Yes.
The whole Spy Family.
To buy peanuts with. Put the money to buy your peanuts with.
Thank you, Megan.
You're welcome. Another brave soul. Hello.
Do you ever look into your characters, like read ahead in the manga or look up spoilers for your characters?
Yeah, sometimes.
So like when it comes to like Attack on Titan, not to spoil anything.
Oh yeah, like I knew, yeah, I won't spoil anything. If you haven't watched Attack on Titan, no spoilers. But yeah, I for better or for worse, I'm on Twitter, and if you're on Twitter, you know, if you know, you know. It's a place that exists on the internet, for better or for worse. But yeah, I think when the manga came out, it was all over my Twitter. And so when that came up, I already knew it was gonna happen, and I was like, oh my God. So yeah, and people always go, were you sad? Were you nervous? What was going on in your head? And I'm like, well, I was definitely just mainly nervous because it's such a big moment and I didn't want to ruin it for everyone, because I was like, wow, this is really important. So I just wanted it to be as good as possible, so I was mainly nervous doing it. So yeah, but I think everyone tells me I did a great job, and I just have to go, thank you. Thank you for the validation. It makes me feel better. So.
You did do a great job.
Thank you. See, you don't want me to ask you questions. Oh, here comes another brave soul.
What was your favorite thing about Dynazenon?
Ooh, Dynazenon. That was a fun show. I played Cece, right? Yeah. Cece was really fun. She's just really fun. I liked how spunky she is, because I like cause I have this voice that a lot of people will cast me as like, I'm the girl next door, la 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 la. Like, you know, I'm an anime girl, I got toast in my mouth and I'm going to school, you know, like cute little girl, you know, just bipping and bopping to school. And so when people cast me as characters that have like these attitudes or like Cece, I really enjoy it because I get to do a little bit more. It's not just like, oh, just be really sweet. It's like, oh, she's sweet, but then she's also sassy and sarcastic and, you know, so it's like a wider range of things I get to play around with. And so, yeah, that was what I enjoyed the most, because she's just one of those characters that I got to do more with. Not that I don't love the other girls, but you know, as an actor, you're just like, yeah, I want to do the fun things sometimes. So yeah, another one that recently that I did was Rika in Girlfriend. That's not a children's show, so if you're a child, don't go look that show up. It's not a children's show. I mean, there's no like nudity, but don't. I mean, I wouldn't show it to my child. My child's 5 months old, but you know, if I showed it to her, she wouldn't remember it, so that's not a problem right now. But yeah, it's more adult humor, but it's funny. It's funny, and if you're an adult, then yeah, go watch it. It's fun. It's a good fun time. And I play Rika, and she's psychotic, in a good way? ? She's crazy. All the girls in that show are crazy, but they're fun. So yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Oh yeah, you got this. I believe in you.
Oh, I'm not shy.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so I have this vision of like an anime Hollywood.
Oh yeah.
Like, where do you go to like record these? Is there a one place or?
This is such a fun question. So there's a few different places that record anime right now. So the big one is Dallas. I'm from Dallas, Texas. Yeehaw, we ride horses. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. Side note, I will say we moved into this house a few years ago, and there's like a train tracks right behind it, and I thought of horses, and this is what reminded me. So we have this green area behind us, and when I took my dog outside, and I'm like holding my baby, and we go outside, and my dog runs out the door, and I was like, whoa, what's out there? I'm like thinking, oh, it's another rabbit or a squirrel or something. No, it was not. What do you think it was? A horse? No, it wasn't a horse. I wish it was a horse. I wish a horse could climb a fence. That would be very impressive. No, it was 2 turkeys, 2 giant, like Thanksgiving turkeys. And one just flew across and was like, go, 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 go. And then I was like, that was a turkey. And then I look, and on the fence, on the back of the fence, there's just another turkey chilling, sitting on top of the fence. And then he just hopped back into the little forest area, and I was like, okay, cool, turkeys. I'll add that to the list of the things behind my house. Anyways, so yeah, Texas. I'm from Dallas, so we record there. It was Funimation, then Funimation bought Crunchyroll. I know it seems like Crunchyroll bought Funimation, but I promise you, it's the way I said it. I didn't mix it up. They just decided to become Crunchyroll because of branding. So I'm not one of those people. So that's above my pay grade. I just come in and talk and do voices. So that's a big hub for work. And they also have satellite studios in different places, like in LA and stuff. So there are LA shows that are on Crunchyroll that are just recorded in LA, and then they upload them to Crunchyroll. So yeah, and then LA is another one. I will say LA is more of a hub for video games than it is for anime, because again, Crunchyroll's main dubbing studio's in Dallas, and then there's just so many game studios in LA, and lots of mobile games and all kinds of stuff in LA. So more games than anime, but there's still anime. And then sometimes New York. Pokemon is recorded in New York, or has been recorded in New York traditionally. I don't know if they're recording the new stuff in New York. I don't know. I haven't talked to the Pokemon people. I'm not in Pokemon, so I just know Sarah, who plays Ash, because we've been to conventions together. She's great. I love her. She's very funny. She's very New York though, where I go, "Hey Sarah," she goes, "Hey Megan, what's up?" And I go, "Hello Sarah." She's very chill, very like, "Yeah, what do you want me to do?" Like, she's so New York. It's great. But yeah, so those are the places, and there's really like no. I tell people, I wish it was as easy when I had started to get started doing voiceover, because I feel like I just kind of fell in, like the stars aligned, and the way I did it is, everyone has a different story. I should also preface with that. So yeah, there's just a different way to get in everywhere, and nowadays my number one advice is like, I tell people to just start doing it, because there's so many online resources. There's so many online communities, there's so many indie games and YouTube videos and student animations being made that need voiceover, whether it's, unpaid work because it's a student being like, "Hey, I just need voices for my final project, my final 3-minute film animation that I did," or there's people like indie games that are like, "Yeah, we're paying X amount per line of dialogue." So yeah, it really depends. So you can totally do indie work and get started in doing things, but I always tell people, do it for fun. Don't do it because you're like, "I'll make the big bucks. I'm just gonna crush everyone's hopes." You don't make the big bucks. I promise. I live in a regular suburban house with my dog and my husband and my baby. So I promise, it's a normal job. But even then, it takes a while to even get to this point. So I'm very lucky that I can do this as a job. But it does take a while. So really do it for fun, and really do it because you genuinely love it, because it is a really fun job. But don't cut off everything and be like, "If I have to do it now," and then I don't want you to fall on your face and then give up, because it's all about the long game with this job, because it takes hard work. And so yeah, does that answer your question? I know we talked about a lot. Turkeys, we went all over the place with that question. It was great.
So with growing up, did you have anyone tell you "Oh, you'd be really good at voice acting"? And if so, do you have a memory of the first time it happened?
I didn't do voices, but I was a singer growing up. And so I actually have a degree in music education, and I was a teacher for 3 years, and we can all collectively, I taught middle school choir, and we can all go, middle school. Yeah, because that, we all know. Middle school is rough, it's a rough time. And so I did that for 3 years, and I started voice acting in college, because again, I got lucky and I knew someone, and they kind of introduced me to people, and again, stars aligned, right place, right time, everything. But I'd always watched anime growing up, and so I knew all about anime. I knew the sound that anime had, and I was a singer, so there's actually a lot of, I found out after I started voice acting that singing actually has a lot of musicians, musical skills are very transferable, especially to ADR work, because ADR work is dubbing over pre-existing dialogue, essentially. We always joke, we're like, "Guys, we're just a language option on a DVD. That's our job." We joke around, we're like, "We're just a language option, it's fine if you don't like us." That's our joke. It's a lot of transferable skills because there's timing involved. We only have a certain amount of time. There's set animation. That we have only so much time to say these words. And so when I started doing this, I found out very quickly, a lot of this musicality of timing and rhythm and things like that really helped shape the beginnings of being okay and solid at it, because I wasn't necessarily an actor. I knew what the sound was. I loved reading as a kid too, so I would read things aloud to myself as a kid, out loud, and all that kind of stuff, which is also great practice for anyone that wants to just get better at reading things out loud and doing work like this. But yeah, so it never really dawned on me oh yeah, this is what I want to be, because to be fair, I didn't even realize until I was in college and talking to my friend that had worked there. I was like, "Oh cool, I didn't know FUNimation was in Dallas," and I was 20 years old, and I was like, "Wow, I feel like a goober," because I love anime, and I didn't even realize they made it in the same city I live in. So like, it never dawned to me like, oh, I can do this as a job. But then I got the job, and it was like, the very first session I ever had, it was a walla session, which means we had 4 people in the booth doing like background noise and bits and like one-liners and things like that to make ambiance of a scene. And I remember that happened, and oh, bless you, thank you, those bright lights. I was like, lights. But yeah, but from that very first session, I remember walking out and being like, oh no, I really love this. This was really fun. I want to do this again and again and again. And so I was lucky enough to get to do that. So yeah.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Hello.
Hi. So your IMDb page is honestly very impressive with
Oh,
the
thank
sheer.
I don't know who updates it because I sure don't. Some wonderful person does. It's not me.
Is there any role that stands out to you as having been particularly difficult to perform or particularly weird?
Weird or difficult? It's weird because like there are times there's a lot of shows that I've like learned things from, like when we did the first season of Masamune-kun's Revenge, and I play a girl named Neko. She's very sweet, but also very crazy. I don't know why. I'm typecast. I don't understand it. Maybe it says something about me. I don't know. But they, I remember that show in particular because Alexis Tipton was directing, and Neko talks in this very sweet, princessy kind of voice. So she's like, yes, Masamune, na 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 na. And we got to this big episode where it was just her and Masamune, and they were having this whole scene. Like most of this episode was just them talking back and forth to each other and having this very deep conversation. And I remember Alexis being like, I know it's hard, Megan, because of the type of character Neko is, but that was the first time someone told me in a good way, like in a constructive way, like the cadence of your voice. It's so easy to be like da 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 da, where every sentence sounds the same. And that was and so I count that as like a moment where I was like, oh, cool. That is a really good piece of advice. And so then from that moment on, I was able to really start thinking about how I was saying things. And I liked that moment because that was something that, I don't know, it always stuck out to me because I feel like that's something that just unlocked a different level of my brain when doing this, that you don't necessarily start off thinking about. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I love the characters that I get to do really emotional things. Like I had a really great scene with Tatum, J. Michael Tatum. I was in Steins Gate Zero, and the big emotional scene with him and Mayuri, just talking about how he's not like the same person, because in that show, it's like a sequel. It's very, if you've seen Steins Gate, you understand what I'm saying. If I try to explain it, he's just really depressed, okay? He's really depressed in this season of the show because sad things happen, and he just hasn't been able to get over it. So they're having this big discussion, and so like thinking about stuff like that was something really interesting, because not only was I stepping in as a voice match in that role, you know, then at that point it's like, okay, I've been here for a few episodes, but now I've also got to do all this really emotional stuff. And that was really difficult and fun for me. And then I heard, and this was before I knew Tatum, like, as a friend, I guess, which is so odd to say, because I think about listening to him. I make a lot of people feel old at Crunchyroll. I make them feel old, and I'm sorry. I'm so sorry to tell you that. Time is a thing. But I remember him saying, like, somewhere that he complimented my performance, and I was just like blown away. I was like, oh my gosh, this is the best compliment I've ever gotten, because he's such a thespian at heart. Tatum is. He's very dramatic and thespian in theater. It's great. So yeah, and then Anya's another great example of just something different that I haven't gotten to do before, because she's so unique and she has such a unique personality. So I've always said, like, man, I really want to do a really good little kid voice. And funnily enough, Danny Chambers, who plays Becky in Spy Family, she's done a few things as like little kid roles at Crunchyroll, and I've heard her kid voice, and it's so good. Like, it's not her Becky voice. Her Becky voice, because Becky is like a refined little child, right? She's a very, I don't know, privileged little child. She speaks like a little privileged child. We love Becky. Becky's great. She has thousands of dollars to spend on shopping trips as a 5-year-old. I love that for her. I wish that was me. But she has done other kid voices that are more like traditional kid voices, like little kid voices, where they talk like this, and then they have the little kid talk, and like how little kids, they just kind of talk and they don't really, they think about what they're gonna say, like things like that. And I remember listening to her do that and being like, gosh, she's so good at it. And I remember thinking to myself, gosh, I want to do a little kid voice one day, and I want to try to be just as good as that, because her little kid voice sounds so good, so natural. And it was so funny because when I was actually auditioning for Spy Family, that's what I thought of. I was like, that was my chance. And it worked. Sorry, Danny. You're still in the show. You're my best friend. But yeah, so I like channeled I was inspired by Danny, and we want to speak D&D terms, you know, I was inspired. My bardic inspiration came from Danny. But yeah, so yeah. Those are like just things that stick out in my mind as like difficult things that maybe for those specific characters most people wouldn't think about. Like Neko, most people are like, yeah, Neko, whatever. She's just a girl character that you've done a million of. But for me, that was such a great character because I got to learn something really valuable. And yeah, so I love those characters that make me have to learn something while I'm on the job. So yeah. Who's next? Wahahaha. Ha 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 ha. Oh yes, in the back.
Do you have a booth?
Do I have a booth? Yeah, that's a great question. I don't have a booth personally. I actually have fitted out one of my closets. We have, our house has me and my husband's room, and then we have 3 extra bedrooms. One which is now our daughter's. And one of the rooms has all of our like board games and all of my shrines to characters that take up so much space. But in that room, that closet has become my booth. And so I have foam in there. I have like a standing desk, a little standing personal desk. It's very small. It was a miracle that I found one that fit in a closet. I don't know how I did it. But yeah, so I have that. And I also, there's a website called Vocal Booths to Go that they sell blankets. So I have foam all over my closet and like kind of covering the walls and stuff, but covering the door. And I also used to, in my old house, I had, for whatever reason, the house builders decided, hey, you know what would be perfect in a closet? A window. And I was like, oh, okay, cool, thank you. So I had to cover that window and the door, so I bought like, it's a huge blanket. It's like 8 by 10 feet or something, and like that. And I bought that, and I hung curtain rods in the closet, and I still use it. And it covers the door, so I don't have to like cover the door in foam. And I can just kind of move it out of the way and leave my little dungeon booth. But yeah, I worked with that during COVID, and that was fun. I felt like I was going crazy in a little padded closet. It was good times. But yeah, so it worked. So yeah, I would say like you can always retrofit your own closet. You don't need a booth. But also like I know lots of friends that they've just made space for a booth. I just happened to have a closet that I could use. So that's what I did. So yeah. You had a question, and then we'll do her and then you. Yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned that you've done a lot of sweet voices, and that's sort of your thing.
Yeah.
Do you have like a particular personality or a particular voice that you've been saving that you really want to do but have not had a chance to?
I really, I know I'm not my voice isn't crazy suited for it, but I would love to have a chance to do more, I don't know, more mature roles, maybe villains or something. I mean, it'd have to be the right kind of character, but something in that deeper range that I have, because I've done things that are close to my voice, and on occasion, if someone's like, hey, can you just be this teacher lady or whatever for this bit? It's like 2 lines in a show, and I'll be like, yeah. But I think doing something with like a villain or that can use my deeper range, because there are like sweeter voiced villains, but I think doing something like that would be fun. So yeah.
Will you say something villainous?
Give me all your peanuts or die. You know, something like that, you know? Hire me. Hire me, everyone. So call me for all your villainous needs. Thank you. Thank you. And you had a question. Dun, 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 dun.
So I was just recently introduced to a scene in One Piece episode 877.
Okay.
You and your singing alongside Ben Phillips.
Yes.
How fun was that?
That was so fun. So he's talking about the Whole Cake Island arc in One Piece, which if you're a One Piece watcher, Godspeed. I don't know how you do it. I barely can do it myself. But there's in Whole Cake Island, the whole arc is full of singing, and people called it like a weird, crazy Disney horror Disney-esque. Like the trees are singing, the cupcakes are singing, but they're all run by the villain of that arc, whose name is Big Mom. And so yeah, it's just like weird. It's so eccentric. I can't describe. It's chaotic but cute and fun. And so I actually directed all of the music for that. So I helped with making sure the adaptations were good, like all the lyrics were adapted well. And then also we started Whole Cake Island while we were still at home, so everyone was still recording from home. So when we started Whole Cake Island, I tell people I love Whole Cake Island, but it also drove me a little bit insane during COVID, because we would have groups of people, right? You have these choruses that you need to fill, and normally when you're not having to be at home because of a thing that could kill you in the air, how fun, you bring in like 4 people, you might sing through that chorus part like 2-4 times, right? And then you layer all those together and you have a nice big chorus sound. Well, when you're at home, you can only do 1 person at a time. So when we had those chorus peoples, I would have blocks of like 2 hours each, and it would be like, okay, this person, then this person, then this person. And I would have to listen to the same minute of music for 4 hours or 6 hours at a time, and it's like I'm going crazy, but it was so fun, and it all sounded really good. And then we actually did the part you're talking about, Soul Pocus. Right?
I don't know the title of it, but just
with Ben Phillips.
The Ben Phillips, yeah.
Is it at the very end?
Yes.
Yes. So the big title of that song is Soul Pocus, and I decided, because again I went to school for music, and you know I do that, and so it's this big operatic number at the very end where they're having this big battle and they're defeating Big Mom, or supposedly, and it's this big number and they're just singing about all the characters, and it's operatic and it's beautiful, and Ben Phillips is doing it, and I was like, perfect. But then they had a woman, it was like a duet, and I was like, I'm just gonna be that person because I know I can do it, and it'll be less of a headache than trying to find someone else that can do it, because it was very high soprano, and that's me, I'm the high soprano girl. So yeah, so me and Ben did that, and it was so much fun. I think he recorded first, and then I just recorded along with him. But yeah, it was super fun. It was really fun getting to do that kind of singing again. But yeah, it was like it was nice cherry on top of the big Whole Cake Island cake. So yeah, it was a long process of an arc, because boy oh boy, it felt like we were there forever. I was like, what do you mean we started doing this at home and now we're still doing this in the studio? Like, this is when is it over? Like, I was like, please, because we do it in batches. So they'll be like, okay, we're gonna do these 20 episodes. Okay, now we're moving on to these 20 episodes. So it took a while for us to get through Whole Cake Island, but it was really fun. And I love hearing people be like, I love the music. And then I tell them I directed, and they all go, what? And I go, yeah, I know it all. That was me. You're welcome. But yeah, no, it all turned out really good, and I'm really proud of how it turned out. So yeah, super fun. Thank you so much. I'm so glad people love it, because it's one of my favorites. So. Dun, dun, dun. We're gonna play like the Oscar music as they walk away. Dun, 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 dun. You know, just the award show music walk off. That's what I need to do, because I feel like people have, like, there's so many panels. Like, I never get mad if people are like, oh my god, I gotta go catch this other panel. I gotta walk all the way over there. And then I'm like, I need music to play as people leave, but like fun music, so they don't feel bad, because I feel like people get up and they're like. And I'm like, we all see you, it's okay. We know it's busy, there's a lot of things to do. Hello.
Hello. So yeah, I've been watching on Crunchyroll. So the season 2 was 13. Why was it not 25 like the last Spy Family?
Oh, for Spy Family? I don't know. A lot of times the episode length is just determined by Japan and like what their budget is, and I mean, I assume it's based on like their budget and like what the arc is that they're adapting, or like how many episodes, because I'm sure when they storyboard it all out, they're like, okay, we need this many episodes. Okay, well, we only have this much, so can we squeeze it down to this much? But they do a great job of adapting it. And I think, too, because of the movie coming out, I think maybe that also, I have no idea. This is me speculating, allegedly, for legal reasons, allegedly. I would assume that maybe because of the movie coming out, they probably were putting a lot of focus on animating that and stuff while they were also doing season 2. Because, I mean, it makes sense to me that they were probably had some overlap based on like when they came out. So yeah, and then apparently they were making a game too, which I need to get that game.
Oh, a game for what system?
It's on the Switch. It's just this. It's a game. We didn't do any voicing in it, but I'm like, why is there a Spy Family game? It's apparently Anya has to take pictures for a school project, so it's just a cute, wholesome game, and you take pictures and you go hang out with the family and you go on outings. And that's it. That's the whole point of the game. It's like Pokemon Snap, but Spy Family Snap. So, yeah.
Could I hear a quick Anya line? I love peanuts, if that's all right?
Oh yes, I love peanuts. It's so delicious.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Thank you.
I do it, and then people go, then little kids go, they look at me and so fun. I also, I've become friends with, her name is Kathleen. She's the voice of Dora the Explorer, the OG Dora the Explorer. And it's really funny because she has this giant Dora that's kind of scary, but we love the giant doll Dora. She's scary, but you know, we keep her fed and happy and healthy, and she doesn't bother us, okay? So, but Kathleen's so great because she tells kids to like close their eyes because parents will bring their kids up like, it's Dora the Explorer. And the kids are like, no, this is a lady. like, this is a lady. And they'll be like, okay, close your eyes. And then she'll do the Dora voice for them. They're like, whoa, where's Dora? It's the lady. And they're like, no, it's a lady, Mom. It's not Dora. So yeah, it's really funny. So yeah, I love when little kids come up, and I don't know if I have any, I think I ran out, but I usually give, if kids come up to my table and they're cosplaying Anya, I have little Stella stars that I give them. They're very cute. So, but I think I have like 5. So I hope no more than 5 come see me this weekend. Otherwise, they're out of luck because I ran out of Stellas. There's too many cute Anyas. So, but yeah, so fun. All right, they're just gonna stare at each other. Listen, if you don't talk, I'm just going to talk about Love Live and my whole experience meeting those lovely girls, okay? So you don't want to listen to that. None of us want to listen to that, okay? Look. All right, go on. Save us from me.
Earlier you mentioned J. Michael Tatum.
Yes.
I've met him before.
He's great.
Sometimes he's a bit mischievous, you might say.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever gotten caught up in his mischief?
No, I feel like all the people, listen, I feel like they're all in the most loving way possible. They're all just old now. I love them all. I love calling them old. but they love it. It's fine. I can call them old. They know me. I know them. It's fine. But I feel like all the shenanigans that I also heard about growing up, I feel like haven't done many shenanigans. I will say there's a really fun one that some people were talking about doing. If you've ever met Jerry Jewell, he was Kyo in Fruits Basket. He does a lot of other stuff too, but that's the big one that everyone's like, yeah, Kyo, the orange-haired angry man. We love him, and he's a very dry sense of humor kind of man. He's just so dry. He just is like, hello, I'm Jerry. He's the guy that shows up. He's like Stanley from The Office. He shows up, he does his job, he goes home, right? Like that's his thing. And so Jerry is that kind of man. He shows up, he directs the anime, he goes home, okay? That's his job. But we all have these like Jerry quotes. All right, cue the Oscar music. Sorry. I make everyone stare at everyone leaving. It's like the worst. Like I'm like, no, let's not make them feel awkward. And then I go, okay, everyone stare at him. Like, good job. It was a great idea, Megan. But Jerry is so dry, and he has all of these sayings where you'll say a line and we'll record it and place it. And it looks good, and he goes, looks like anime. All right, next line. And so he's so dry, so dry. So I think, I don't know if this is still going to happen or not, but some people were talking about putting up motivational posters, but putting all of the non-motivational things that Jerry says on the posters, like, the kids will love it. Yep, that's anime. We're just a language option on a DVD. That's a Jerry thing. So like all these things that he says that are literally not motivational in the slightest, it's just like, great, we did the job. So as a joke, they're like, we want to put them all over Jerry's studio, so he just comes in and has all of the things he has said. It'd be funny. So I hope that happens. But I will say, I do love when I'm at the same convention as Michael and Brandon. One time we went out to a Mexican restaurant and we got margaritas, and that was a really fun time, and we just gossiped the whole time, like old ladies, and it was really fun. And he's really funny, because I've mentioned some things before and he'll get really fired up about it. Like one time while we were at this Mexican food restaurant, I went, oh yeah, Michael, have you heard about this thing? And he went, oh my God, don't even get me started. Like in the middle of this Mexican food restaurant, it was so great. And I was like, oh yes, no, I do. Go on, as I just had my chips and salsa. Like it was great. So yeah, he's a fun guy. I love him, and I love the fact that I'm like, yay, I'm friends with him, because that's such a fun thing. Because I grew up listening to all of them, and then I tell them that, and then they go, God, Megan, stop it. And then I remind them of their mortality. So it's really fun. But yeah, no, they're great. I love them.
All right.
Yeah. They did get up to a lot of shenanigans back in the day. My favorite story is one time, this is my favorite story of like how not to be for fans, because this is a great story, and it's a Tatum story. When we were at one of the older buildings that Funimation was in, and he's told this story a lot, he was like, yeah, one time there was a fan that waited in the bushes for him. And I was like, oh my God, no, they didn't. It's like a horror story. It's like a horror game in real life. And so yeah, they waited in the bushes for him, and he was like, now it's funny. Back then it was not. So it's a good time. Good stories. So don't be like that. Only show up announced and invited. Don't wait in the bushes, please. Now we have that problem at the new studio with DoorDash people. That's an unexpected twist of technology. You wouldn't expect because anime has just exploded over the last like 5-6 years. It's just become so mainstream now. Like everyone knows what anime is, and it's so normal now, which I'm like, well, not back in my day, I was made fun of, and I ran like Naruto down the hall, like, thanks. But yeah, so it's exploded, it's so mainstream, so now we have DoorDashers that will come deliver food to the studio, and sometimes the DoorDashers get too excited, so they had to leave a table out by the elevators for the door dashers because they were like, they had too many, they had like, it only takes once or twice for the front desk people at the studio to be like, and now no more delivery people are allowed past the locked door. So they have a little table out there now that says, here, put all your delivery food right here and good, get back in the elevator and go. It kind of looks like a Rainforest Cafe, I'm not gonna lie. Like a fun Rainforest Cafe. Do you know what Rainforest Cafe is? Okay, good. And I was like, there's not a lot of them left, but it's really cool. If you've Googled pictures of like the Crunchyroll San Francisco office, it's very cool. It looks like a Japanese street at night. So in the Dallas studio, they made like the food and snack break area really look like a, kind of look like a Japanese food stalls and stuff. So there's like little snack area and seats and tables and things to eat at. And there's also, there's like a, I don't know, it's not a bridge, it's a fake bridge because we're in a building. There's no bridge in the building, but they got like this little hump and made it look like a bridge. So it's really cute. It looks like a little Japanese bridge, like from Animal Crossing, you know? It looks like an Animal Crossing bridge. That's what I should just say, because then people are gonna go, ah, yes, I understand. But yeah, it's really cool. And then they put like paper on the wall. It's not wallpaper, but it's like that stuff you can stick to the wall and whatever. It looks like wallpaper, but it's not because you can just peel it off. There's a lot of wood, actually there's a lot of wood paneling, just like that stuff back there. So yeah, and then the front desk is made out of this giant lump of stone. Just a big rock. They just said, yes, that's the desk, a big rock. And it has Crunchyroll carved into it. It's very impressive. But yeah, when you get off the elevators, and there are other people that work, because there's multiple businesses in the same building, we just take one floor of it. And it's so funny when I come in, because it's like, gee, I wonder where this girl is going to work today in the elevator. Like, clearly I'm not going to the insurance company to work, you know, like with this hair. And I've had people in the elevator go, are you going to that one floor? And I'm like, yes. And they go, what do you do there? And I go, oh, well, we make anime. We do ADR. We do English dialogue for Japanese cartoons and stuff in anime. And they all go, that is so neat. You know, my son really loves that stuff. And I'm like, that's so nice, Linda. Like, I don't know. So they're always just like, huh. And then like the elevator opens and it's just like green foliage like on the walls. And it really does look like a Rainforest Cafe. Like every other floor, it's like, you know, white and gray and welcome to the insurance company. We're welcome. Like, and then there's us. Just, yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, but it's fun. It's nice. Yeah. And sometimes they give me free stuff. So that's fun. Sometimes they're like, hey, we had this stuff. We don't want it anymore. And I have a bunch of free Anya stuff. Because they were like, here you go. I was like, thank you, I don't know what to do with it. So I just have like an Anya bucket hat at home. I don't wear bucket hats. I have an Anya, I have that hat, the hat you're wearing. I have that. They just gave me that. And I went, I live in Texas. I don't, when am I going to use this? I'll keep it, but yeah, it's not cold here. It's like, I don't, but sure, yeah, I'll take it. So yeah, fun stuff. Fun stuff. Oh, you're just pulling the weight here. Yep. You're like, come on, everyone, I got questions.
The Crunchyroll Studios, is that where FUNimation used to be? Or is it
yeah. So it actually, the merger happened, and I think they were planning on moving to our new studio before COVID, but then COVID happened, so it like slowed everything down. And so the merger and stuff all got finalized while that happened, and so when they officially moved into that new studio, they were able to just, from the get-go, do all Crunchyroll branding, and that probably made it a lot easier because you don't have to change anything after the fact. But yeah, so it's a new studio, and it's about like, I would say like 10 minutes away from where the old studio used to be. It's just in a newer, I don't know, it's pretty, but it's just kind of odd because it's like buildings for businesses, but then they also built like food. So there's like a handful of like restaurants and things, you know, for all the people there working and smart of them. And then they also built like apartments around the area. So it's like this small little strange work community place. It's very odd, but it's nice. It's a nice area, and there's like a little man-made pond you can walk around, or a lake or whatever. I call it a pond. But yeah, so yeah, but it's only about 10 minutes away from like the old studio. So
Do they still do tours? Because they used to have the tours in FUNimation.
I don't know. I feel like they do, but I don't. I'm not sure. Yeah, we used to do tours at the old FUNimation building, and so I don't know how they do that now. I never knew how they did it to begin with. They would just show up and they'd be like, yeah, we got a tour coming through, and we'd all be like, yay. Not like in a bad way, but we would just be like, oh, cool, okay. And we mentally prepare to like slow everything down, because you want to like tell people what's going on. And so, yeah, it was really fun, and tours are fun. One time a lady I was in a booth, and there's a window, and she just came right up to the window with her Canon camera and was like, click, and I was like, hi, hello ma'am, it's so nice to see you. So yeah, people can be weird, but it's fine. I'm just there to get to say words and get paid, and that's fine, that's my job, and it's all right.
I'm maybe thinking of visiting that place one day.
Yeah, I would definitely reach out, because I feel like I've seen or heard about tours going through, so it never hurts to ask, or like reach out and ask someone, because I know they used to, so I don't know.
It's at the same address, right?
It's a different address, so I don't know it off the top of my head, but if you Google, it's still listed as FUNimation, because again, I think it's still under like the FUNimation LLC umbrella thing for like the lease and stuff. So I think if you like Google it, that's the new address. So yeah, but if you Google it, it's there. It sounds like it looks like it's in a different city, but it's literally just like 10 minutes away from the old one. Because like that spot is like where 3 different cities like kind of converge. So it's like you travel 5 minutes and you're like, cool, now I'm in Flower Mound. Cool, now I'm in Coppell. Cool, now I'm in Grapevine. And they're all just like right there in a mass and blob. So yeah, good times. I don't even know what time it is. I don't know. Oh, okay, it's 2:47. No one's come in to tell me to leave yet, so I guess we can go until the end of the hour. So my lovely handler first is like, you have the whole time. Do you have a question? Don't be afraid. Okay, I'm ready for your question.
I have a silly.
Oh, a silly question.
Isekai related question.
All right, I'm ready for it.
If you get run over by a truck and then reborn to an isekai setting, who or what will you be and why?
This is a great question. I've actually never been asked this question. You would be surprised. You would think there'd be more people asking this question, because that's all we watch now are isekai shows, apparently. Japan's like, this is what you want to watch. And I'm like, I don't know. I've had a lot of it. And they're like, no, more. And you're like, okay. Okay. Okay, so I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. You're very touchy. I'm trying to be nice to you. Someone must have been a whisperer up here. They were like, I am very quiet. Let's see. If I was run over by something, honestly, or hit by something, it would probably be, maybe a car. I do. I just will cross streets, and I go, what are you gonna do, hit me? And my husband goes, yes, Megan, they will hit you. And I'm like, well, then they're gonna have to pay for it. That's not my fault. It's my turn to cross the street now, you know? And he's like, that is not how any of that works, but whatever. But yeah, so we'll just say a car, because I live on the edge. Like when I was at the airport in Dallas, like coming here, I had my luggage and I'm like walking, like, and you know, when you park and then you have to walk across the like drop off area and they're supposed to stop for you. Like I just start walking, I'm like barely out, and this car, I'm like, he sees me coming, like he's back there, but he sure didn't slow down. So I just kind of stopped and I stared at him and he just went, and I went, oh, don't. I was like, oh yes, thank you, go ahead, yes. Well, I was like, don't even sir. Don't start with me today. I'm in a hurry. So I have a plane to catch, sir. But yeah, I was like, don't hand gesture me. Like, go ahead, ma'am. But yeah, Soul Cock. Because I live on the edge like that. And what would I be reborn as? I would be reborn. I would be reborn as a dog. Like a cute dog, you know? And then the dog talks, and then they're like, oh my god, the dog talks! And then, yeah. You can see it. You can see it in your mind. I know, yeah.
Important question, what type of dog?
Ooh, yeah, that is a very important dog. A small dog. Not like a tiny little dog. Like a smallish dog, like 20, 30 pound dog, maybe? Maybe like, oh, you know what? We'll go with this. I'll be isekai'd into the Bluey universe. And then I'll be a dog. And yeah, that makes the most sense. Am I going to watch the new Bluey episode that's coming out soon? Yes, I am. It's a wedding episode. Someone's getting married. If you don't watch Bluey, you need to go watch it. I promise, you'll enjoy it. I swear it's fun. It's really fun. I promise. I'm not just being a weird mom. It's fine. You'll have a good time. It's cute.
Do you have a favorite voice actor or actress?
Ooh, yeah, that's a good question. I feel like now I just know everyone. I'm trying to think, like, who is it? I really loved, because I watch a lot of like magical girl shows. I mean, and I grew up listening to people like Caitlin Glass and Tatum and Justin. Oh God, Justin, what's his name? You know, Justin, what's his name, everyone?
Justin Cook?
Huh?
Is it Justin Cook?
Yeah, Justin Cook. There you go. See, there you go. I knew so. I was like, yeah, see, someone knows the Justin. Like, I grew up listening to all these people, and they were the people that I remember listening to, and like so much of like the sound of anime in my head is from them, because they really just set that standard. So yeah, a lot of them. Like, I remember when I first worked with Caitlin, I was so nervous because I was like, oh my God, I really admire Caitlin, and I love her. And then I got to act with her. I got to assistant direct with her, and yeah. So it was really fun getting to like know those people, and the people that like I grew up listening to, and that informed so much of my own sense of what anime, quote, should sound like, you know, or what we know as like, this is what anime sounds like, just came from them. And so it's so fun now that I get to go to panels like me and Justin Cook. We were at a con, this was Otakon, and they put us on, me and Justin, for whatever, I think it was supposed to be somebody else too, but they weren't there. They couldn't make it, so it was just me and Justin, but the panel was titled Anime, Old School to New Cool. So like the whole panel, we would just joke. I was like, sorry, Justin, you're so old school. And he's like, yeah, I guess I'm just not new cool enough. Like, it was so funny. And of course, everyone's on the panel going, oh my God, can you do the, what's that show he's in? The old show? Yeah, I was thinking Fushigi Yugi. I was like, that is not the name of that show. Yeah, so everyone's like, can you do the thing? Can you do the thing where you yell? He's sitting there going, okay, I'm gonna do it once. Ah! And everyone's like, yeah! And I'm like, good job. You still got it. Like, he's telling all these really fun stories. But no, it was a cool panel, because it was really cool to talk about how things have changed over the years. Because he was there from like the beginning of time. No, not really, but yeah, so they're really great, and I enjoy getting to say that I know them and I count them as friends and acquaintances, and so yeah, it's special. I love it. 5 minutes? I was like, do you have a question? I was like, no, wait, you're just telling me 5 minutes. Any other burning questions? I'm telling you, all these people, I feel like we really need to do like a really big cheer at the end so that everyone outside of the room is like, whoa, I really missed something. That's my favorite thing to do, especially when, I don't think we share, are there panel rooms that way? The green room is that way, so we might disturb the green room, but they'll get over it. We'll just be like, wow, those people are having a great time. And I'll be like, that was my crowd. They loved me. So I feel like we need to do that. Because I don't know if you guys have been to cons where like the panel rooms are like so close to each other and they're like divided with the like removable dividers. So it's like they're paper thin. And so it's so fun to like hear someone blasting banging music, behind you. That happened at a con and I was just like, every 5 minutes, I think it was like karaoke or something, or like a performance, like some people were cosplaying and doing performances, and it was like every once in a while they all go, woo! And every time they did it, we would go, yeah! Like I told them, I was like, every time they cheer, we're gonna stop everything we're doing and we're just gonna like one-up them, okay? And that's what we did the whole time. It was really fun. So yeah, good times. I love conventions. Only at conventions. But yeah. Any other burning questions? I'm only here all weekend, so you gotta get it out. Yes?
I'm sorry if this was asked, but what's your favorite anime and manga?
Ooh, my favorite? So, oh man. Right now, I'm reading through Witch Hat Atelier, which is really, really, really good. It's very dense. The illustrations are gorgeous, so it really takes me a while to actually read through it because I feel like it's just, there's so much to absorb in it, with story-wise and just visually. It's a great work of art, and so I have all the volumes, but I'm still working my way through them. So I love magical world stuff. And I really love like Cardcaptor Sakura. That was one of my favorite series. I also like Magic Knight Rayearth growing up. Like that one has stuck with me over the years. I remember that one specifically because at the very end, they did some cheesy thing, and I kind of love it, where they were like naming the new country that was born or something. I don't know, magical girl stuff, okay, and whatever. And they go, you name it was like they break the fourth wall at the very last page, and they're like, name this country whatever you want it to be. And I was like, I don't know, this is too much pressure for me. Like, I can't write, and you want me to write in my book? Absolutely not. This country will remain nameless forever. So, but yeah, I love Magic Knight Rayearth. But yeah, I like a lot of, and Sailor Moon. I love Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon is honestly, I think, one of the best mangas of all time. I think it's really good. I think a lot of people don't realize how dark the manga is and how dark it really gets at the end, like the big final, everything that's been leading up. There's a lot of lore that people don't get from the anime. Not that the anime is bad. The anime is iconic and wonderful, but yeah, the manga is fantastic. So. Iconic. But yeah. Oh yeah, an anime. Trying to pick something different. It's tough. Well, I will say, in terms of regular books, because I do like to read. I've been reading through. I've read through all of ACOTAR for those my book friends in here that know the Court of Thorns and Roses series, and then also now I'm reading through Throne of Glass, that whole series. I'm like in the middle of it. I have the book in my hotel room. I'm like halfway through one of the books, and it's really good. And I'm gonna go home, and I'm gonna go to the hotel room, and I'm gonna read it more, and then I'm gonna have nothing to read on the plane ride back home. It'll be worth it. So yeah, that's what I'm reading through like regular right now. And I'm reading all this. Also, I can read another series by the same author, because now she's like intertwining all of her book universes together in this particular book series that she's writing. So I'm like, cool, I gotta read the 8-book saga before I can even get to the multi-1,000-page books that you've written. So yeah, I'm like trying to catch up, and every time someone's like, oh, have you read it yet? I'm like, no. Yeah.
Which Throne of Glass book are you in?
I'm reading Queen of Shadows. So I just got to the midpoint where Arrowbin is, and I was like, whoa! And I was like so excited last night. I was like, how am I supposed to go to bed after this? This is exhilarating. And I think, I'm just gonna have a moment with you for a minute. I was so excited last night because it was one of those reading moments where you finally get to see this character who's been really, like, she starts off as this very immature, brash teenager. Like, she doesn't think things through. She's not patient. She's never really, she tries to be one step ahead, but then this other guy's like 5 steps ahead of her. And this moment is like the first time you see how calm and collected she has been, and all this planning she has done for this very satisfying payoff. And it shows how much she has just grown and changed. And that was like one of the first moments I was like, oh my God, she's a genius.
You're only halfway.
And I'm only halfway through the whole series. What am I gonna do? Yeah, so can't wait to tandem read the books, because people say if you read Tower of Dawn, it's the worst experience of your life because you don't want to read stupid, stinky kale.
I have to disagree.
Oh, you do?
We're channel stand.
Okay. See, that's what I heard. See, okay, sorry, we're having a moment here. It's this stinky boy character, and he becomes this, he kind of has this moment where you're like, can you, like, please get over yourself, sir? And everyone says, once you get to the end of that book, because he kind of has, like, this change of heart, is what I've heard. So I still like him. I think he's kind of stinky right now, because I'm like, I need you to get over yourself right now, but I believe in you. So I haven't written him off.
So
I'm just in stinky kale land.
Highly suggest not tandem reading.
Oh, really?
Because the whole reason is because they're supposed to be happening at the same time, but there's not really any events where you're like, it doesn't immerse you as much.
Okay.
You're more immersed if you just read them in the order they were published.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
There's not really anything that you're like, I need to know what's happening here while it's happening here. It kind of just,
Gotcha.
It works out.
I'm excited for him to redeem himself. He's being a big stinky boy right now in the books, and I need him to just, like, get over it, because I'm like, boy, every time I read about him, I'm like, if you say one more word, I'm going to lose it. Like, I need you to calm down. It was really satisfying, though, when Rowan showed up, and I was like, yes, Rowan! And then I'm like, ha, Kale, look how hot he is. You're the sloppy leftovers, boy. Like, he's so hot, and you're nothing. Like, I was so excited. So excited. When Rowan showed up, I was like, yes, put him in his place, Rowan. And by putting him in his place, I mean, don't give him anything. Don't pay any attention to him, because that's what he wants. He's a stinky boy. But I love Manon. She's great. I can't wait to see where that goes. It's great. So, are we done? We're at 0. We did it, everyone. We made it. We talked about so much. We talked about turkeys, horses, books. Good times. Good times. I'm going to be going back down to my table in the vendors hall. So if you guys want to come by and see me, I will be there until, what time does it close? 6. So we'll be there. So yeah, unless I'm like taking a step away to, like, I don't know, go have a snack. I don't know. So,
It's at the summit, right? The exhibitors hall at the summit, right?
Yes, it's in this building. The one that's here in this building. So yeah. Yes.
Are you also going to be here tomorrow?
I am. I'm here all weekend. And then I'm going to a hockey game tomorrow night. It's going to be so much fun. Go Stars! Go Stars! I will admit, I do love the Kraken. They're the team I root for when it's not the Stars. So I love the Kraken. Don't get me wrong. But I'm like, go Stars! And everyone's like, no. So yeah, I'm so excited. So yeah, I'll see you guys down there. Thank you so much. I hope you